The restaurant is in some sort of legal dispute with the landlord, and it's gotten pretty ugly. So ugly, in fact, that the 3 black members of the LA City Council recorded a video in support of the restaurant, which is now circulating online. You might have seen it by now. To be clear, here at KBLA, we have nothing but love for council members Heather Hutt and Curran D. Price Jr., who have been real champions for this particular black-owned and operated business, even though KBLA does not sit in either of their council districts. But take a listen to our 8th District Council member, Marquise Harris Dawson, who, as you know, is also president of the LA City Council.
Marquise Harris Dawson, president of the Los Angeles City Council and representative of District 8. We just want you to know, from the 10th District to the 8th District and all across the city, we love the district. We support Tyree and the whole team that's there. It's one of the most beloved sports watching facilities in our district, and we all stand by them 100%.
All right, now for starters, lip service is not leadership, and slogans are not solutions. That said, I played that video at least 5 times. I mean, I was gobsmacked. The council president stands with black businesses 100%? Oh, really? Is that just in the 10th council district? Good brother, you need to travel south down Crenshaw about a half mile. When you get to Vernon, get out the car and walk a few blocks. Ask the black business owners in your 8th council district how they feel about being economically asphyxiated, not by an alleged predatory landlord, but by a city project that you launched years ago and cannot seem to get across the finish line. Can I keep it real? Can I keep it real? What is the point of having a black city council president if he cannot find the funds to finish a years delayed project in his own district? What is the point of having a black city council president who cannot curate a business interruption development fund for the suffocating businesses in his own district? I declare, these black faces in high places don't mean diddly squat if they cannot deliver for black people. In the next editorial, I'm going to tell you what accountability looks like. And if the city still can't figure it out, well, I guess we'll have to show them what accountability looks like. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tavis Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Okay, that sounded crazy. I think I sounded like the old school radio. KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First, and my very first thing every day is prayer. giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to do. Hi, Miles. Miles over here fixing the camera. In case you happen to be streaming on YouTube and you wonder why he just walked in, that is why. He's got a lot of hats on any given day, running the cameras, running that board, keeping us all, organized. A lot of things going on around here. And I'm so thrilled. So this is how we do things on a Wednesday. We call them Wealth Building Wednesdays. Hour 1, we look local, what's going on around here, left coast side of town, Pacific Ocean way. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. But we kick it off with Wealth Building Wednesday, a spotlight on a business or an opportunity for you. And then in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a hot topic or a person of interest. And today we will be speaking with R&B soul icon, actor, writer, singer Eric Benet, coming into the studio. I was telling Akili, part of the team here, that I think he is one of the few artists, I know he's one of the few artists in the world that will have been on every one of my radio shows. So really excited to have that conversation. And he's got new music out. And of course, you're always invited in every hour at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Also, we are streaming on YouTube, and they have some great conversation in the comments section. Let me tell you, the KBLA delegation is active, and we so appreciate you for showing up every day on the YouTubes and talking about what's going on. We also stream on Facebook. So if you want to go there, do that. Happy to have you there. I am also excited to be starting off the day. Oh, and I should let you know also that Tyree Lacey will be joining us top of hour 2 to talk about the situation at the district, which Tavis referenced in his editorial, and whether or not that is, in fact, an epidemic going on with black businesses, what the actual situation is, and how we can help. So we got a jam-packed show, and I'm excited about that. Now, I am very, very, very happy to introduce a guest who I've never had the opportunity to talk with before, but maybe she will be on my next 3 radio shows. She is a broadcaster and I guess you would say influencer in her own right. She's the host of Latin affiliated VIP. She's got an entertainment company there centered around Latino culture, LA lifestyle, and artists. Angee Smallz, welcome.
Good morning, Dominique. I love your show already. It's amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're very kind. I know it's early, and I appreciate you waking up. No, your generation don't like to be up this early, so much love to you
good.
on that. So, you have really created a space, carved your own space in the entertainment world, and I have a lot of respect for that. I think as women in entertainment, sometimes we need to be able to do that. So tell me how you started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like you made your own lane.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and being a woman in the industry, as you know, is hard in all industries, right? So shout out to all the women out there, all the boss bees. So I started about 20 years ago. Latin Affiliated was a print magazine. So it started off in Arizona, and we caught that wave of Latino music that was big on the radio with like Shakira and Ricky Martin and Pitbull, and now it feels like there's a resurgence of these next era of Latino artists. But we relaunched on YouTube, and it's been really great. I love it. I've always been interested in music. I have a really heavy interest in music. I have a lot of musician friends. I heard Eric Benet is going to be on your show. I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yep.
I was introduced to Dominique from Red Elite, and I'm sure you know him. He's a friend of yours.
Yeah,
But
he's
he reached
sitting
out
in
to
here right
me.
now.
Oh, shout out to him. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't be there in person. I really wanted to be there in person. But he told me about our connection, which is essentially through Tupac. I was able to shoot an interview with an artist in his iconic Impala, the yellow Impala from To Live and Die in LA. So I have a really interesting interview. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, it's Latin affiliated on YouTube. Just look up the artist interview was with a guy named Long Beach Lloyd. He's actually the previous owner of the Impala. They have since sold it, but it was a ride around town in Long Beach in Tupac's iconic Impala.
I actually did see that interview. I thought that was really creative. What kind of, was that something he wanted to do, or is that something you talked
Yes.
him into doing, or a little of both?
Well, yeah, definitely a little of both. When he told me he knew the owner, it was actually another artist that was in the car with us, and I had lived in Long Beach for about 20 years at the time, and so I asked him, can we use it for an interview? And he asked the owner, and they were like, yeah, we'll take you a ride around town in it. And it was amazing. It was so fun. It was such a great time. But we also have another connection because one of my mentors was Johnny J, who was the super producer on All Eyes on Me, Tupac's highest selling album. So rest in peace to Johnny J. He's no longer with us, but when I moved to Los Angeles, I always used to work with him in his studio, or I'd be there. I shouldn't say work, but I'd be there. Got really close with his family, and when he passed away, it just really shattered me because he really supported what I was doing. He thought it was very important for the Latino community. He was always also had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get the accolades that Dr. Dre did.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Or the recognition. And he was the mastermind behind a lot of the music that Tupac actually wrote on. And he worked with a lot of other artists, too. He worked with Jodeci. He worked with John B. He was actually working with Tatiana Ali, who's the daughter from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at the time. She was working on an album, and it never came out because he passed away. So, I just wanted to mention that, he still inspires me. I got gifted a portrait of him. It's here at my house, and I look at it, and I remember his encouraging words. Unfortunately, I was at his funeral too, and his family, because at the time it was when the magazine was a paper, so he never got to be on the cover of our.
Now, Johnny J, I mean, people in hip hop, like hip hop heads, would know him because he was,
Yes.
He was a famous producer, even though he might not have gotten the love or the money that Dre got. But what happened to him? He died. Is it suspicious? Because he was in Twin Towers, right? In LA. And usually when people die in Twin Towers, it's the police, if I'm being honest.
It's very, very suspicious. There's different reasons on what happened. I think he definitely was taken out. And
they say he
sound...
fell. Like, that sounds like an old mafia movie or something. He had a terrible fall. Like, what? Yeah.
That is such BS. At the time, he was not even in there for very long. So he shouldn't have gotten hurt. He was doing a short stint. He was scheduled to be out, I believe at the time he had about 2 more weeks. So, he should have been able to come out of there. I guess what the reason is that is officially on record is that he did it to himself. And this is not I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He had a lot to look forward to.
And they always say that, to be honest with you. It's like there's an epidemic of, self-harm inside of prisons and in the county jail. I've had read he fell, and then I had heard that he suicided. And whenever, I hear these conflicting stories, it also makes me suspicious. Angee Smallz is my guest, and we're going to continue this conversation when we come forward. You're listening to KBLA. Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years old, yeah, with more that's coming your way. Congratulations, come on, y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years deep and we still going up. Built it from the ground, now the real knowing us. Real talk on the air, then the truth get heard. Every day the proof getting served. He had a vision and he stayed with the plan. Now they tapped in from the beach to the land. Never back down, 7 days of the week, still going up now. We 5 years deep. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. Tell me smiley, you did it with 5 years today. Congratulations, come on y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Let's do this.
We're heading into one of the most important election seasons in a generation. And with so much on the line, your health care, your economy, your neighborhood, you deserve more than sound bites. You deserve the full story. KBLA Talk 1580 is your trusted voice for political coverage, commentary, and conversation. From local races to national headlines, we bring you the insight and perspective you need to make sense of it all and make your voice heard. Between now and November, a lot will happen. A lot will change. But one thing won't. KBLA Talk 1580 will be right here, keeping you informed, keeping you engaged, and keeping it real. KBLA Talk 1580, the place for politics.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Her company is Latin Affiliated Entertainment. Angee Smalls is my guest. We're talking about your friend, your good friend, the late Johnny J. And you were saying he never got to be on the cover of Latin Affiliated. I think I interrupted you because I just wanted to understand what happened to him when he died in LA's Twin Towers, which is always suspicious, and that there were conflicting stories. So we went a little down that road, and rest in peace to him. But you were saying that he never got to be on the cover, and I think you weren't done saying that.
Oh, yeah. And so when he passed, his family asked me if we could make him his own issue. And so we did that. And, so that was my tribute to him. And I actually went into his studio after he passed away and designed it in about 24 hours because they needed it for his funeral. And I was there. It was really surreal to be in his studio without him, you know, and I'll never really forget that. And just surrounded by all of his plaques, and I knew I only had a short window to get this done for him. It was about a 8-page magazine, and his family gave me all of the photos. And if you go to his Instagram right now, Johnny J Beats, it's like Johnny_J_Beats. I believe his wife manages the Instagram. And the first post is the magazine, and that's something that I designed for him. And I was really, really sad about it because, you know, he wasn't here to see it. But again, I will never forget our conversations and the motivation and how welcoming he was. I was able to talk to him just initially as an interview, and he just kept in touch. And at that time I lived in Arizona. I was coming back and forth to LA just to do interviews and things like that. But I ended up moving here, and we just didn't get to work together as much as I wanted. He actually did help me judge a talent show I threw as well. I did a show called Battle of the Artists, and he was one of our judges, and he loved it. He loved it. We got to see about 20 artists perform. He critiqued them, and we wanted to do more of that, you know.
Yeah,
he was really excited.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were talking about our connections because you did, you know, you were riding around in Pac's, the famous, car, famous lowrider. And now you're talking about Johnny J, who was also the producer, or one of the producers, I believe, on Hit 'Em Up, which is the song I was responding to with Digital Underground on the radio, which Pac pulled the clip off of that and put it in front of To Live and Die in LA. So if it wasn't for that Hit 'Em Up song, you know, I would never have been featured on Machiavelli's album. So, you know, these little LA hip hop, LA to the Bay, I guess with you it's LA to Arizona, hip hop connections are all over the place. Angee Smallz.
Yeah. No, that's an iconic intro. Who doesn't know those words?
It's crazy because I've got 5 Emmy Awards, and I've been on the radio for, I was just talking with your friend, 30 years. But that's the most famous thing I've ever done is Tupac taking a few seconds off of one of my shows and putting it on his album on that.
No, that's
that
iconic.
Song. So yeah. But I mean, as women in hip hop, I mean, you're talking about your relationship with Johnny J and how you were able to have these friendships that were within the business, and kind of become an expert in your own right. I don't consider myself an expert. I think I always sound kind of like the Forrest Gump of hip hop. I just go along like do 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 do, and I happen to be in the right place at the right time. Like the universe just does that. But I think you are a bit of an expert, at least when it comes to hip hop and Latino culture here in LA.
Thank you. You know,
so how did you get there? I mean, how did you get there? Like they didn't have a degree in that. I still think they don't have that degree.
Yeah, I just had a real big interest in hip hop. You know, I grew up listening to Snoop Dogg. And even when my son was born, and I loved Snoop Dogg growing up, but I just always had a real big interest. And some stars did align. And when I lived in Arizona, I met Baby Bash, and I still have a relationship with Baby Bash. It's all really a lot about relationships, as I'm sure you've experienced. And the industry is just like any other industry. You just have to do right by people and keep in touch with them. And artistry, we're all artists in our own right. And I've been fortunate to meet a lot of talented people, and their careers in the music industry are still going. Like Baby Bash, I believe, is the highest played Mexican on Spotify.
Okay, did not know that.
Yeah, he just posted that. That's the only reason I know about it. But he's getting 7 million plays a month on Spotify.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, and you know what?
Yeah.
When I first, I remember when I first came in this business, there was not just in hip hop, you had few Latin artists, but even in the whole entertainment landscape, actors, comedians, directors, there were hardly any Latino artists. And people used to really complain about it. I had, friends in the business, the guys from Culture Clash, for example, I've known since we were back in the Bay in college. And they would always complain about it. But now people create their own platforms because you do have your own, you can create your own distribution. You can stream. You don't have to have a label. And so somebody like him can be doing millions of streams, and I might not know it, but he's thriving within his circle, right?
Yes, totally. And something he always talks about on his platform as well is that he owns the rights to his music. So, he did a lot of things correctly. But again, he's somebody that I still have a relationship with. And speaking of the Bay, I did kind of get my introduction into publishing through him, because when I met him in Arizona, he was working with a magazine called Southwestbound, and that was derived of a DJ, Derek B, and another guy, B12, and a rapper from N2 Deep. They had a magazine in the Bay, and I was in Arizona, but they also had a radio show in Arizona. And so since I was there, I was kind of like their correspondent in Arizona, and eventually I just did a spinoff, and that's how Latin Affiliated actually came to fruition. So, I have some appreciation for Baby Bash as well, for what he did for me, helped me get my start as well.
We're talking with Angee Smallz. She is the owner of Latin Affiliated, now a YouTube channel, but it is an entertainment company. And when we come forward, we'll talk more about LA, hip-hop, and the elephant in the room. I always got to get that. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Senate has approved a War Powers resolution on Iran, marking the first time both chambers have backed such a measure.
On this motion, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
While largely symbolic, the resolution aims to limit military action without congressional authorization, with a small group of Republicans joining Democrats in support. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is backing a proposal to create a new Department of Gun Violence Prevention. Community leaders say the move is needed after a violent weekend, arguing a dedicated office could support long-term community-based solutions. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore has won the Democratic primary in his bid for re-election, setting up a rematch with Republican Dan Cox. The two previously faced off in 2022 and will meet again in November. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Attention Ram owners. Complete Recall 67A. Get $500 and a chance to win a getaway to Miami for two to see the final race of the season. Plus, meet Brendan Butterbean Queen. Learn more and schedule at CumminsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers moved up one spot in the first round of the NBA draft Tuesday night from 25 to 24 after making a trade with the New York Knicks. The Lakers used the number 24 pick to select Cameron Carr, a 6'5" shooting guard from Baylor. Carr averaged 18.9 points and 5.8 rebounds last season. With the possibility of 9 players becoming free agents on July 1st, the Lakers had to do something last night to fill their roster. The second round is tonight. The Lakers don't have a second-round pick unless they make another trade. The Clippers have 2 picks in the second round tonight. They used their number 5 pick last night to select the Big Ten Conference Freshman of the Year, 6'6" guard Keaton Wagler of Illinois. Wagler led Illinois in scoring, assists, and steals and helped Illinois reach the Final Four last season. Wagler averaged 17.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, black voices, black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up! KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
You know him, you trust him, and now the whole nation is taking notice. Talkers Magazine, the Bible of talk radio, has ranked Tavis Smiley number 14 on their prestigious Heavy 100 list. 100 voices, the most important in all of talk radio. Tavis has moved from number 45 to number 33 to number 16, and now he's in the top 15, right here on your station.
His is one of the most trusted, credible, and reliable voices in broadcast media today. Straight, no chaser, always. Tavis brings you the conversations that matter, the newsmakers, the truth tellers, the voices that don't get heard anywhere else. Weekdays on this station. This is what it sounds like when your community has a seat at the table.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And waking up with me, waking up with Angee Smallz, waking up with Latin affiliated entertainment. She broke it down, started as a magazine. It's a changing media landscape now. She's a YouTube powerhouse. And of course, you know, Miles was like, what's the elephant in the room? Well, the elephant in the room is, and I know you know some of the folks probably who are instigators of this, but there's some controversy about, you know, black origins of hip hop and Latinos in hip hop. It's Black Music Month, and I've seen some people on a radio station I won't name, really trying to, you know, create tension rather than dealing with the affiliation or, you know, paying tribute to the black origins of this music. How do you feel about that?
You know, we're all inspired by each other. Obviously, you know, the roots of hip hop started in New York. You know, we can't take anything away from the black culture. They definitely inspired Latinos. And, you know, I have to think about Baby Bash working with Akon. You know, some of the greatest music that comes about is when minorities, I think that us as minorities really have to, this is a time where more so now than ever that we really need to support each other. We're both dealing with our own uphill battles, and I do have friends in the industry right now that are Latino and make it a point to talk about Black and Brown unity, and that to me is inspiring. Hopefully I'm answering your question.
Yeah,
Maybe
no, I
I
think you're answering it really, really well. Reparationist in the YouTube chat says Bash keeps the Cali, Texas connection strong. Baby Bash and Paul Wall are two solid guys in H-Town. They're very supportive of the culture. Love that. And you know, I feel like we have to go there. We have to touch on that elephant in the room. I remember when Eazy-E, when I was at the Beat, you know, he had signed the Brown Side, which was an early hip hop group, but they weren't just a group. It was like he signed the whole neighborhood, which I thought was wild.
Exactly. Eazy-E is a pioneer.
That was my friend.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I know you probably have so many stories.
One or two, yeah. But one or two. But I mean, I think it's important to address the issues, especially us being in LA, and being, you know, and moving within these different circles. I remember with Be Real when I used to do the show Street Science, he was always down. We did broadcasts inside the juvenile halls. We did town halls in Latin and Black communities where Easy would be there, you know, Be Real would be there. And so there's a long history, but I think it's gotten a little trickier these days than it was even back then.
Yeah, right. And thank you for bringing this up. You know, I know that we're both very prideful cultures, I would say. And again, Latinos, I'm only speaking for myself, but generally we don't want to take away the accomplishments of Black music. You know, it inspired a lot of other music down to Elvis, you know, if I'm getting that right.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't say I'm an expert on him, but yeah, I think I feel what you're saying there. Yeah.
So we've only tried to take that and also make evolve as music evolves, right? And I think as we move forward, we just need to really understand that we should have creative collaborations moving forward, but not taking away where it came from. From my understanding, it came from New York, started in, I think, Brooklyn. Maybe,
well, they say Bronx, but I mean, we also had,
Bronx.
but we also had our parallel like movement here in LA and the West Coast. I think I know that we're not going to get into that whole argument, but yeah, okay, we'll give New York, we'll give them their props, but also I think West Coast hip hop started a lot earlier than most people give it credit for. All that popping and locking and graffiti and the lowrider culture and all of that stuff, the poetry of the Watts Prophets and all of that stuff. So we can do a whole other show on that another day, but definitely.
Heck yeah.
Definitely needed to touch on that. What is what is the hip hop report card?
Oh, okay. So this was my take on, music, right? Because I saw this show out here. I'm not even going to name it, but this guy had the wildest takes on music, and I feel like he was rage baiting. I don't know his background. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a background in music. And so I kind of got offended by it because he was just randomly going at these artists and just tearing them down. His whole premise was not even about giving positive points or perspectives. And so, when I did my magazine, we were all about supporting new artists, upcoming artists. And this was kind of a new take for me to do this on YouTube. And I wanted to do that again. And so I thought, let me just kind of relaunch it on my YouTube channel, and we're going to have a few songs, and we're going to go ahead and make a little scoreboard and see which is the best song of the episode. But the real point of each episode is just to highlight the entries. And I've only done about 3 episodes of that, but I swear there's so much talent out there. It doesn't matter, like, if you're like this huge selling artist, there's so much talent to be had. And fortunately, all the music, in my opinion, that has been submitted to the show has all been amazing music. Like, it hasn't been any song on there that is like, okay, we're just going to rate this. So
people submit to
we have
you.
Some good music on that show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're asking who you're talking about, but I'm not gonna say it. Yeah. So they can DM you, and that's how they can be considered for the rap report card. Are the hip hop report card? But you find new artists all the time. Like, how do you do that? Are you outside every day, out in these clubs? Are you online combing through stuff? Like, are you the Latina Forrest Gump of hip hop? Like, how do you find all this stuff?
Maybe. Hey, they say good luck is just hard work and preparation, right?
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah, I get invited to shows a lot. Again, taking it back from 20 years ago, that's kind of how I started getting invited to a Baby Bash show. So I am still doing that. And I was actually at a show, speaking of the Cali to Texas comment on YouTube, there was a show out here about a month ago called Texas to Cali. And there was a lot of artists that came here from Texas, and it was dope. I hadn't heard the Chopped and Screwed. They're still doing that. And it was like an updated version. But I got to see a lot of artists perform that aren't necessarily, obviously mainstream. But I'm always out, especially this summer. I feel like there's a lot going on. I'll actually be at a show this Saturday in Victorville. It's called Back in the Day Showcase. Frankie J is going to be there. DJ Quick's going to be there. Conejo's going to be there. I'm trying to think. Oh, the Delphonics are going to be there, or Norman Carter of the Delphonics. So I go to those shows as well, and I cover those shows. And ultimately, I do meet a lot of artists. And if something sticks out to me, then, hey, I want to give that artist props, especially for the younger generation. I've had a lot of younger rappers kind of want to keep in touch with me, which is a little like, I'm like, oh, I can help you, but we can't be best friends, because you're like a 20-year-old boy. And I'm like, no, they're like, but I'll definitely keep in touch. But we can't do these phone calls all the time because, I want to make sure that they stay focused.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Generations in hip hop. But, that's a testament to you keeping it, fresh, keeping it interesting, keeping it relevant, I'll say. But tell me about the Chicano Fashion Gala. What is that?
Oh, yeah. So that is a gala that goes on like once a year. I was able to go to it last year. They actually took it national, which I thought was really cool. It started in LA and then they did a show in New York. So the owner, she just decided she wanted to celebrate, Latino fashion, and everybody, it gave us a night, a reason to dress up as best as we could, go all out, because we're not going to the Emmys, right? Or me in particular. And so it gave us all a reason to dress up as best as we could and get as creative as we wanted. And so that was so fun. I loved the dress I had on that night. But yeah, so shout out to the creator of that show. But that is something I did cover on our channel because I thought, again, if there's something I see that I feel needs better recognition other than just them putting it on Instagram, I'm happy to go and collaborate with people like that. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of what makes it fun to be on the mic, part of what makes it fun to keep doing it after all these years. I had a very young artist ask me, like, how do you still love your job after all these years? Part of it is giving other people the opportunity, making openings and creating space for new folks to come through. I like that. I think, you were talking about Johnny J and him feeling a little bit bitter or angry. And I find a lot of pioneers in the space do feel that way. We're underrated. We don't get enough love. How come I'm not rich like, Charlemagne the God? But for me, I mean, not saying I don't want those big checks, but for me, I don't stay bitter because I stay connected to purpose. And I just feel like God has me here doing this the way I'm doing this for a reason. And I stay connected to that. I do feel like I'm underrated. You probably are too. And so is probably Johnny J. But I'd rather be underrated than overrated.
No, and that's super humble of you, and I think the biggest stars, when I've met them, they're full of humility, as opposed to like the lower level stars. And I don't mean that in disrespectful at all, but I feel like maybe it's a learned trait. But humility, is a great characteristic to have. So
humility, gratitude.
Yeah. Gratitude. Yes. Something I practice as well. And yeah, that was the premise of Latin Affiliated when it started. I thought everyone had a right to be a star, and here we are 20 years later, as social media is doing that. It's giving everyone their own platform.
I love that. Everyone has a right to be a star. Angee Smallz is my guest. We'll keep it going when we move forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where the overlooked become unmissable, this is KBLA Talk 1580. In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
When you turn to the Employment Development Department, we'll help you get there. Whether it's support for you and your family while you find a new job, or the resources to focus on your recovery after illness or injury, we can help you move forward. From support while you bond with your newborn, to helping serve your family while your partner serves our country. Your EDD. We'll help you get there. For more information, visit edd.ca.gov.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Angee Smallz is our guest this hour. She is putting LA Latinos on the map and hip hop on the map. And her company is Latin affiliated. You can find them on YouTube. You can find the catalog, dig in the catalog, find the magazine. We were talking about underrated versus overrated. Is LA underrated?
Oh, good question. Maybe, yeah. We have started. LA's the place. I think similar to. I keep comparing it to New York for some weird reason, but we all feel like we're the center of the universe, and LA is its own ecosystem. You know, I never leave LA, and I meet so many cool people. That's one of the reasons that drew me here. I grew up in the Army. We moved around a lot. I lived overseas. So I've always felt like I had like a broad scope of the world. I grew up with many different cultures from the United States overseas because we were all military brats. Then when I moved back to the States, I had family in California, and every time I visited Los Angeles, I was just like, I need to live here. It's so full of art and culture and inspiration. And obviously the weather is beautiful, perfect. So, yeah, I think it is underrated. A lot of people need to spend more time here or get over the stereotypes of LA, because I feel like some people think that it's a mess. But
yeah,
it really isn't.
I've been on that, Angee Smalls, I've been on that ever since the election, because so many people were running around saying, oh, LA is going to hell in a handbasket, blah.
Exactly.
Homeless people and, crime and, making it sound like an ish hole. And to me, it's great. And I think I'm tired of that. So those of us who have been here for a long time, who chose this place or this place chose us, I like to hear why we love it, So thank you for sharing that. Who should we be tracking, or what should we be tracking in Latin culture, in your opinion? Is it art, music, actors? Like who is else is underrated or coming up that we should be tracking?
You go to my Instagram. I have some interesting posts on there. So we dip into obviously music, but also the acting industry has been under fire, and I'm sure everybody's aware of that. Especially with all these talks of AI being replacing creators essentially. But I don't think that's ever that's not going to happen. AI isn't, in my opinion, smarter than a human because they don't have a soul, and AI is only as good as what a human will feed it.
Right, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just stay up to date with my Instagram and you'll see who we're shedding light on. I just actually put a really kind of controversial post talking about Latinos in Hollywood, also considered Chicanos in Hollywood, and how many roles are not even represented of based on true life stories represented by an actual person of color. They're represented by a Caucasian. So you can kind of see there's statistics behind it. I had a guest on, and he talked about all of the movies that have starring roles for these real life characters, but also they're portrayed by someone that is not of actual descent. So,
still going on, huh?
Again, it's still going on. It's still going on. But
what is your IG?
Yeah, and that.
By the way.
Oh, it's Latin Affiliated VIP, and I actually have a post on there I just put up about a week ago, and it's me and Johnny J in the studio. And it's like a throwback post, and I found a picture of him holding up the magazine.
Oh.
And because I did an article on him while he was alive, but he wasn't on the cover. Baby Bash was on the cover. So they had a relationship back then too. So back then we were all collaborating as well. I just didn't foresee him ultimately passing as soon as he did, or he would have got his own cover.
Girl, I always thought I'd still be here talking smack about the young rappers, with Tupac and with Eazy-E, but nothing is promised, and folks leave us. At least you and I are still here on the microphone, and we can pay tribute and make sure that they get the love they deserve and fight back when people say dumb stuff, acting like they know when they don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, and just to point on his passing, I remember when he actually had to go do his time. We had a conversation, and he was looking forward to doing another Battle of the Artists show. He felt really excited about it. So, in my opinion, he didn't do that to himself. He had a lot to look forward to when he got out.
Mm. Well, Angee Smalls, I've really appreciated the conversation. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for being part of KBLA First Things First.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to seeing all the DMs that I get. Send me your new music. Just DM me a link on YouTube or Spotify, and I'll happily check it out.
Absolutely. It's Wealth Building Wednesday. Next, we'll be hearing the story behind what's going down at the district, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Senate has approved a War Powers resolution on Iran, marking the first time both chambers have backed such a measure.
On this motion, the yeas are 50, the nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
While largely symbolic, the resolution aims to limit military action without congressional authorization, with a small group of Republicans joining Democrats in support. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is backing a proposal to create a new Department of Gun Violence Prevention. Community leaders say the move is needed after a violent weekend, arguing a dedicated office could support long-term community-based solutions. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore has won the Democratic primary in his bid for re-election, setting up a rematch with Republican Dan Cox. The two previously faced off in 2022 and will meet again in November. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Attention Ram owners. Complete Recall 67A. Get $500 and a chance to win a getaway to Miami for two to see the final race of the season. Plus, meet Brendan Butterbean Queen. Learn more and schedule at CumminsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers moved up one spot in the first round of the NBA draft Tuesday night from 25 to 24 after making a trade with the New York Knicks. The Lakers used the number 24 pick to select Cameron Carr, a 6'5 shooting guard from Baylor. Carr averaged 18.9 points and 5.8 rebounds last season. With the possibility of 9 players becoming free agents on July 1st, the Lakers had to do something last night to fill their roster. The second round is tonight. The Lakers don't have a second-round pick unless they make another trade. The Clippers have 2 picks in the second round tonight. They used their number 5 pick last night to select the Big Ten Conference Freshman of the Year, 6'6 guard Keaton Wagler of Illinois. Wagler led Illinois in scoring, assists, and steals and helped Illinois reach the Final Four last season.